Welcome back to Podcast the Motion Picture. Today we are reviewing the 2005 film V for Vendetta. But before we get into all that, let's talk about our top 3 films of 2005. Like, have you guys prepared your top 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with our number 3. I want to start with Jestro.
Hello, this is Jestro. My number 3 film would be The Skeleton Key.
Skeleton Key.
Wow, you're gonna go with that one?
That's the one I'm going to go with, Esther Trance.
Okay. That's the trance.
Brokeback Mountain.
Not surprised there.
Is that why you were laughing?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a given.
Fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, I watched that film with Esther Trance prior to him coming out of the closet.
I kind of challenged Gesture to keep up this voice throughout the entire episode.
Your challenge has been accepted.
Oh.
I was supposed to do it with him, but I forgot.
Damn it, Ben.
I'm sorry.
You have to do something different now.
Because if Natalie Portman can do a fake British accent in V for Vendetta, then by golly, so will I.
All right.
Kim Jimin, what is your top third favorite film
my
of
third.
the year of our Lord AD 20,005? 2005.
My third favorite film from the year 2005 was a film called Corpse Bride.
I just recently watched the film, not a fortnight ago, and I didn't hate it as much as when I first watched it, but I'm a little surprised it's your number 3. It's rather boring.
Yeah, it's not a great film, but again, like I'm a sucker for soundtracks, and Corpse Bride had a great like piano soundtrack. So, Jestro, your number.
My number 2.
Your number 2.
Batman Begins.
Oh, same.
Batman.
Excellent. Yes. Yes. Well, as I've stated before, I do think Batman Begins is the best of the Nolan trilogy. Mm-hmm. I would be remiss to not add it on my 2005 list. Mm-hmm.
And Esther Trance, you said that was your number 2 as well?
Yeah, that was my number 2 as well.
My number 2 is a film called Marrying the Mafia 2. It's a sequel/remake because it's a gender-switched remake of the original Marrying the Mafia, and it is brilliant. Because there's this scene in the original movie, Marrying the Mafia, where there's this girl crying, like while she's playing this piano piece, and it's one of the saddest scenes in the movie. And when they gender switched it in this movie, it became one of the funniest scenes because it's now this guy bawling his eyes out, crying about this girl. Okay, let's get to our number 1. I think I know what Jestro's number 1 is. I don't know if I know what Esther Trance's number 1 is.
All right, go.
I think
yes.
What? Did you say yes?
Guess it.
Guess it. I think Jestro's number 1 film of 2005 is called Sympathy for Lady Vengeance.
That's a good one, but it's not the one I picked. That is actually, it should be. I hadn't realized that came out in 2005. Had I known that, yes, it would have actually been my number 2.
Oh, okay.
Because my number 1 film is a film starring Keanu Reeves.
Is it John Constantine?
It is John Constantine.
Okay.
Esther Trance, what is yours?
I'd have to say mine was actually Sin City.
9-2.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for noir, so I just kind of gravitate towards that one.
May I add an honorable mention?
See?
Mm-hmm.
A History of Violence would be my honorable mention.
I was going to say Munich.
Nice. I've never seen the film. Heard good things.
And I'm actually surprised I didn't choose 40-Year-Old Virgin or the fourth Harry Potter.
Or Hitchhiker. Shall we get started with V for Vendetta? This film is filled with a lot of V words, and a hero with a name that is V.
And a girl whose name is Evie.
And there's no such thing as
Wow,
coincidence.
I don't know why I just barely saw that.
Well, he even draws attention to it. He's like, E-V.
I, like God, do not play with dice, and therefore do not believe in coincidence.
Yes.
Yes, he plays with dominoes.
That's right.
Yeah. How did he have the time to arrange all of those dominoes in the middle of organizing this revolution?
He's got no other life.
Yeah. And it's the same thing that justifies the fact that he can be shot hundreds of times and still manage to kill some people. He's super strong.
Yeah.
And therefore super patient as well.
Yeah. I was going to ask something about the Count of Monte Cristo, because that seemed to be, a big part of the film. Because it being his favorite film and this being about vengeance. And it made me think of a recent film, Logan, where they kind of did the same thing. Where, the movie that is the favorite movie of the main character is kind of parallel to the plot in which the main character is taking part. And I think it's a device that it's well used. I like it. I think we need more films that do it. It's like a rehashing of a familiar concept.
I agree, yes.
So Alan Moore hated this movie.
Well,
but then again, he hates all of the movie adaptations.
I was kind of reading about that. It's not so much that he hated this movie, it's that because of the two adaptations that came before, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and I don't remember.
From Hell.
Yeah, and From Hell. Because of those, he just had a blanket hate. So it wasn't like he never even saw, like, just based off of them doing the movie, he was like, no, I don't want my name attached. So he never really made a judgment based off the finished work. Like, he just said, like, no, I don't want it. I don't like it. Have any of us read the original work of V for Vendetta? No?
I haven't. I have looked into, I guess, the plot similarities, and there are some changes. But overall, the message is still there.
Well, I was reading about how this government is supposed to resemble. It's like the government architecture is supposed to be like a human body almost. Because you had the guy and his like trust that worked as like the brain, and then you had the guy that that was spouting all that hate. He was like the voice,
pretty much the Rush Limbaugh.
And then you had the the spying guys who are the eyes and the ears, and then you had the fingermen who were like quite literally the fingers of the hand.
Yeah,
like keeping a hold over this country. So I was just okay, that's a cool parallel.
So what did you think of the performances? I think the guy who played V was surprisingly good, despite the fact that we did not see his face throughout the entire thing. I mean,
Hugo Weaving, yes, he's an exceptional actor.
I mean, you have to have a lot of, I guess, you have to have that voice.
I mean, technically, we did see his face once.
Okay, that doesn't count, though.
No, that was a CGI character.
I'm not talking about the burningness or anything. I'm talking about him sitting down there wearing a fake beard and wearing sunglasses.
Okay.
Yes.
Like in that one scene, we got to see Hugo Weaving. Well, two, actually, because when he goes and abducts Evie, like I rewinded it a couple times to see, like, because you can see that he's got burned skin underneath the mask. But I wanted it to see that it was in fact like his eyes, like like him underneath that mask. I know.
Being able to carry the entire movie by just your voice is not a feat that many people can easily pass. Or
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're a voice actor, if you just because when you think about it, he's not doing much physically.
Yeah.
It's a lot of slight head turns, a lot of like opening his hands, his posture, things like this. So yeah, if you think about it, he's mostly just a voice actor, which is great. I mean, Michael J. Fox is a fantastic Stuart Little. Anyway, going back, my favorite line of the film came from Natalie Portman's co-worker when he said, "Laser lasses banging." Esther Trance, why do you think V was a test subject?
Why was he brought there in the first place?
Yes.
He probably displayed some uncanny, like, physical abnormalities, and they probably brought him there. I mean, I don't think he got selected because he was of a different race or...
well, but given what we know about the other prisoner, you know, because I mean, that's exactly why she was imprisoned. It was because of her lifestyle.
Her sexual preferences.
But I mean, when you set it against a like a Nazi-esque thing, it's not completely out of left field, so to speak.
Which actually, that concept in itself, I kind of find a bit ludicrous as well. You know, that we could fall back into that kind of regime. And just like be like sheep, you know what I mean? Like with no resistance.
Yes, that's why I think, given the last year of our American political climate, I don't think it could happen.
You're losing your accent, man.
You know, Esther Trance, I'd like you to join in as well. Let's see how long you can keep it up. And I also never said anything about being regionally specific, because like I told Kim Jong-un I was trying to do a David Attenborough, but ditched that pretty quick. Yes, cue up the Benny Hill music.
Is that really as popular in England as I'm guessing it is?
I don't know. I'm sure it's as popular as Yankee Doodle is here.
I think it's just I think it's like a reference that everybody understands. Because it's like a regular thing he did on the Benny Hill show. It's like if you were to hear "Battle Without Honor or Humility," you'd think of people walking down a hallway in slow motion. It's that song from Kill Bill, you know. We have to sing it because I can't play it legally.
We can play 4 seconds of it legally.
Yeah. So if we sing it, then people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, because there are 2 other popular songs from Kill Bill. There's that whistly song that Eye Patch Girl wears or whistles, and then that surfer rock song that was used in car commercials and things.
And then there's also the Green Hornet theme remixed by RZA.
Oh, okay.
Did you like the film overall?
I like the film overall. I think it got a little hammy in some parts, but I think overall the story was really good, and the ideas it brings were very relevant.
Talk about The Mask really quick before we end it. How do you feel about The Mask?
It was
was the group Anonymous using it before this film came out? Would they have
I don't know.
used it had the film not come out. Do we
Maybe
blame
not.
this film for that mask?
Well, when did the graphic novel come out? I mean,
Many years ago.
they probably would have taken it from that,
Yeah.
if anything.
Or do you think there was a lot of bandwagoners who were like, oh yes, V for Vendetta definitely speaks to my heart. I'm going to get on this computer, type away, wearing this mask. So if somebody hacks my webcam, they will only see this mask. Or I could disable it like Astrotrance does. So that his closest friends can't see his face.
Well, in the graphic novel, I think he was supposed to wear different masks depending on, like, I guess his mood. But I think they just stuck with one for the movie. But he was supposed to have different costumes throughout.
Yeah, I also like that he didn't take off the mask at any point in the film. I remember when I first watched it, I was screaming at Natalie Portman, "Don't take off the mask, bitch! Don't take it. Leave it on. I don't need this to be a superhero film where the main character takes off the mask every 5 minutes."
It would have also really taken away, I guess, the impact and the meaning of what he stood behind, to reveal such a human underneath.
Right. I'm not the face beneath this mask, nor am I the muscles or the bones beneath them, or whatever he says. Well, I did it, Esteban. I tried to stay in this accent as long as I could.
Thank you. You make me very happy.
Next week, Estetrance will also do a British accent.
Oh,
Stay
God.
tuned. Well, I've been Cheeky Jestro. Till next time, we'll see you at the movies.